Hello, welcome back. I've been up probably about less than an hour. I got up, had some honey Cheerios, took my medicine while I was watching a little bit of Ben Saves the World's video of 40k. His playthrough of 40k Rogue Trader. Yeah, seems that I'm going to be recording a lot of this today, hopefully. So I do know that at least there's going to be one day which I won't be recording this or Rogue Trader. Which if you're... I don't even know if this is going to be even out before then, but on the 16th I'll be uploading a different type of video. I mean, a video that I've already done before, but different. A game that I've already done before, so it's not going to be this or Rogue Trader. Oh, new weapon. 525 though. Oh, there you are, feeling refreshed, I hope. I was about to make my way to the stadium. As it happens, I wanted to try and speak with Solark Montiage and thank him for coming to our rescue in the restaurant. As it turns out, he'd come here to see us following the hearing, only to find that we already departed for Thafnir. Knowing him, he was probably hoping to chew the cud with his former students. Since we're still waiting for your Stoll and the others, I thought now the perfect time to pay him a visit. Care to join me? Then it's settled. The twins will be coming too, assuming Alphino can tear himself away from his new toys. I'll let you rally the troops while I go on ahead to the Feminaminum. Considering my recent properties, perhaps I should avoid showing my face around the stadium for a time. That might be for the best. If the others should return, tell them we will not be long. He is playing his new toys. Just wanted to check that the audio is being recorded. Father can master these fiendish contraptions, and so can I. Heading out for a stroll. The Scarlock himself was here. In that case, what are we waiting for? I too am eager to see him, though I somewhat dread the thought of visiting the stadium. I dare say our notoriety precedes us. Alphino, of all people, worried over his reputation, and at our alma mater, no less. Will wonders never cease? You'll understand soon enough. Off we go. At least there's two things I'm looking forward to on the 16th. I still got the Pandora in here. She is walking around me right now. Here you are. Here it is. Phenomenon. While I expect you made notes of it before, one can hardly miss it. This is the first time you've been here on official business, correct? While most of the space is taken up by the expansive auditoriums, it also houses numerous laboratories, testing grounds for experimental magics, and a host of administrative offices and so forth. As the center of what would later become the stadium, it was established to promote the study of etherology phenomenon. Hence the name. Though, with ether being a fundamental aspect of nature, its scope expanded to include every conceivable facet of life and even the universe itself. And then, in the 432nd year of the Astral Era, phenomenon was decreed complete and the stadium officially opened as a place of learning. With a long and storied history, it is, without a question, the world's leading authority in etherology, the arcane, the occult, astronomy, and countless other fields, standing proud as Charlian's foremost educational institute. You always did enjoy giving the grand tour to new students. Indeed, I've long since lost track of how many times he has recited the same foppish speech, such as his undying life for his old stomping ground. He was in the top form back then, youngest to enter the stadium, graduated with highest honors in magical arts and etherology, undisputed champion of the debating chamber. Hold on, you both joined the stadium at the same age, yes? And from where I stand, you equally prestigious scholars. Nice of you to say, but Alphino actually entered half a year before me, nor did I do well enough to graduate with honors, and I am certainly not the stadium's most notorious master debater. It's all, in all respects, here I have been in his shadow. If nothing else, just remember that this was where the legend of Alphino Levior began. We should expect everyone to be fully aware of our recent escapades, however, we'll be somewhat more welcome here than we were at the last stand. I know better than anyone the aberration the student body has for Alphino, and with a bit of luck, it might work to our advantage. Oh, there's no time like the present. First things first, let's look for Scholark Menagerie, and Mochi. Other facilities tend to frequent their offices, but unfortunately for us, he's fond of wandering wheresoever his whims take him. Let's split up and ask the students if they've seen him. I should have known that Pandora went and messed with the blinds again. Small child! That was Alphino Levier, wasn't it? The Alphino Levier. And he's with his sister and Master Baldessian's granddaughter. This can only mean one thing. An event of epoch-shattering proportions is fast approaching. Spread the word. Oh, sorry, you said you're looking for the Scholark. Yes, knowing him, he could be anywhere. But Miss Alafo should have a better idea. Things were bad enough during our school days, and Alphino's time abroad has only heightened his fame, or should that be infamy? He had his rivals and detractors, of course, though most of them gave that up after his adoring fans set upon them like ravenous dogs. Alphino, on the other hand, never paid that much notice. They were simply beneath him. He's fine. I forgot how many people were in this room. Because I've done all the quests. I'll be right back. As you can see, all of them have a problem. Well, maybe except for her. All the treasure's going to the end of me. Oh, I hope I find someone who can help soon. Oh dear, am I ever going to find a craftsman for the profession? The professor. Oh god, Charlian must be spared. Oh dear, if only he were around to help me. How am I supposed to approach any gleaners for help when the subject of our research remains undecided? Honestly, that man. I would probably find a way to block that window, but it's Pandora's favorite TV to watch. Are you lost? Wandering off the street, perhaps? Wait, don't tell me you're a trainee gleaner, fresh off the guild ship. I'm right, aren't I? Oh, selling me an orientation is in order. Allow me to bid you a warm welcome to Searchers Meet. Let me start with a question. What is the most important thing you'll find in the stadium? That's right, books. And what's the second most important? Why, that's simple. Everything else. That's what we deal here at Searchers Meet. Whenever the students or tutors find themselves in need of equipment or materials, they come to us. If we don't have it in our stores, we send the gleaners off to find it. Honestly, you wouldn't believe some of the requests we get. Iapacia, this tongue of toad that it's enough to make you hair stand on end, which is possibly what some of our students are trying to accomplish, this being a school of magic and all. As our newest gleaner, you would have your work cut out for you, but I think you'll find it quite rewarding. So what you're telling me is you're not a gleaner. Yes, that's exactly what you said, isn't it? And you're looking for a Scholark. I'm afraid we don't have any of those in stock, but I can... Oh, you mean him. He was here, but now he's not. I did speak with him shortly before you arrived, though. He said he was on his way to Maker's Meet. Go back the way you came in, and you'll see on the opposite side of the entrance is a laboratory of sorts, home to many rare and expensive curios. Not to mention alarming frequent accidents. If you lose your way, just follow the blood-curdling screams. And the time it's taking me to tell you all of this, the Scholark has probably already left. Best of luck finding him. I have a feeling you'll need it. Yeah, as she said, this is where the crafting quests are. And the lady on Edgar's right and the man to the left over there are the gathering quests. As I have recently done all of them. Then again, I've done only the 2 of the crafting ones recently. I did all the other 3 a long time ago. Yes, the Scholark was here a short while ago. He offered me advice on my current research project. Though we spoke at length, I recall him mentioning where he was planning to go next. When we parted ways, he went down the corridor, perhaps to one of the other auditoriums. This is why we have magic map! And I have a Pandora looking at me through the window. Yes, Pandora? Why don't you close the blinds when you read? The only reason why Pandora stays in my room after I close the doors, because if I don't do that, she'll fall over in the hallway and start crying. And then eventually she'll get her claws out and start trying to dig underneath the door. If my friends don't turn up soon, we'll be late for the lecture. He been here 2 bells ago earlier if it was one of Professor Makoto's classes. Okay. No, get on the table. Edgar. Table. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Ah, I remember you.
Yes, I'm Professor Pinky.
I pray we have not caught you at an inopportune moment. We wanted to offer our thanks for your kind words in the forum.
Well, I could hardly let that inquisition go unchallenged. I've always believed that curiosity should be nurtured, not stifled. Thankfully, a majority of my colleagues agreed. A slender majority, aye, but a majority nonetheless.
Had the vote not gone our way, we would be having a very different conversation, if any at all. Though I'd like to think you would have not given up on our cause. I'm told you paid a visit to the annex afterwards.
Yes, that's right. I was hoping to speak with the grandchildren of my dearly departed friends Galuf and Louisoix in a less dour setting. But it seems I just missed you. I still can't believe how much you've grown. If only your grandsires could have seen the way you presented yourselves to the forum. Why, it fair brought a tear to my own eye. You must have the patience of a saint, putting up with this lot and their antics. Never mind Matoya's prize student. Luckily, I know a thing or two about managing unruly younglings. If you ever need advice, don't hesitate to ask.
If I may, there is a rather more pressing matter we wish to discuss. What can you tell us of this duty that the Forum must fulfill?
Alphino.
Nothing, I'm afraid. Like all humble servants of the Forum, I am sworn to secrecy. Or rather, I couldn't tell you if I tried. Our duty is of the gravest importance. Furthermore, if the particulars were made public, it would incite widespread panic. As such, those entrusted with this duty have been bound by an enchantment, which prevents us from speaking of such matters without the express permission of the Forum.
How is that even possible?
It's been some time since I last gave a lecture. Please, take a seat. We shall begin by reviewing the fundamentals of etherology. The ether, which imbues us with life, can be categorized into 3 forms. 2 are of the incorporeal sort, the soul, and the memory. Can anyone tell me the third? Yes, very good. This is the form with which the layman is most familiar. consumed by even the simplest of daily activities, and replenished by the food and drink that sustain us, this form of ether is in constant flux. In contrast, the ether that comprises the soul is rarely subject to dramatic change. The same can be said for memory, as the two are intrinsically linked. Picture the soul as paper, and memories as words written upon it.
Sorry, Edgar can't read. Edgar cannot read what you put on there.
Now, what would happen if that paper was doused with ink? The same type of ether as comprises the memories.
It would blot out everything that was written.
Precisely. We would be unable to recall the memories, and any activities that depend upon them would be hindered as well. In fact, this exact phenomenon was observed on a vast scale not so long ago. And what might that have been?
The seventh Umbral Calamity. The people of Eorzea vividly recall Bahamut breaking free of the Lesser Moon and raining hellfire down upon the realm. But no one could seem to remember the events that followed immediately afterwards.
Indeed. To this day, we have yet to determine whether it was an unintended consequence or a deliberate act. The enchantment which binds me and the rest of the Forum is based on a similar principle. And yes, it is a contravention of the Sharlayan prohibition against the practice of memory manipulation. Only when a new member is inducted and told of our great duty are they subjected to the process. A necessary evil. You have my word that it would never be used to manipulate the populace.
I should hope not. But can this enchantment be dispelled and your memories restored?
If 9/10 of our members give their approval, then the process may be reversed. Then, and only then, would we be able to speak freely to others of our sacred duty. Barring that, we must wait until we return to the ethereal sea.
So Master Matoya's cave with you then.
For there we will be purified, the blots upon our souls washed clean. And our memories drift apart and dissolve, rather defeating the purpose, I suppose. But there are those memories that are indelibly etched upon our souls, some believe.
What happens after that?
We are reduced to pure ether, coalesce with that of others, and create souls anew. Alternative schools of thought assert souls remain whole and return to the corporeal world, reborn into another form. Both theories have their proponents. Personally, I consider each equally probable.
Paper!
Well, I think that's enough education for today, now that I've given you some food for thought. Or rather, an entire banquet. I would remind you that although I'm unable to assist you with certain matters, the resources at my disposal may still be of use to you. I'll arrange for you all to be given the run of Phenomenon. Of course, as associate to our alumni and the students of Baldessian, this privilege is extended to you as well, my friend. Oh, and I suggest you speak with Ki Aliapo. She's well known among the artisans of Sharlayan, and her network of contacts may prove useful in your search for knowledge. I wish you all the best in your pursuits, wheresoever they may take you.
Edgar is still working on getting money so he can join the syndicate and eventually get to the moon so he can punch it. Have been granted the run of the phenomenon. If you are game, Quafo would put your artistry to good use. Edgar is not at that level. Computer. I'm a computer. At least we get some new gear. Well, that's given me much to mull over. I feel as though we were one step closer to understanding the form's true motives and the mysteries of life itself for good measure. It's funny, I came here with the intent of expressing my gratitude, only to leave more indebted than before. I have a feeling his friendship and support will be a great boon to us in the days to come. And on that note, let's head back to the annex. Perhaps on the way you could better acquaint yourself with Quia Alpha and the scholar suggested, while I share our findings with Raha. Edgar going to event space program. Edgar go to moon. Edgar punch moon. Why? Because moon is always there, looking, staring. Gotta get punched in the eye. He would go and punch sun, but sun too high. Oh, wait a second, get back. Having spent most of the time in Thafnir, I've yet to fully grasp the lie of the land here in Sharlayan. Even finding my way to the annex proved a challenge. Welcome back. From what I hear, your trip to the stadium proved most educational. While you were away, I received word from our fellow Scions. As expected, news of the warding scales was met with much joy. Preparations are now underway to bring the leadership. God damn it, Pandora. Underway to bring the leadership of the Grand Company of Eorzea and the Eastern Alliance together to determine a way forward. Our friends have asked that we bring the scales in our position to Miss Lamosa. So the time has come for us to go on the offensive. It's too early to say for certain, but that does seem to be the way of the winds are blowing. I, for one, can think of no reason to oppose such a plan, but let us see what awaits us in Vilbrand. Let's start by getting the scales out of storage. Give me a hand, would you, Asinian? didn't realize these crates were so heavy. I shouldn't complain though. Vitra and the alchemists of the great work put their hearts and soul into each and every one of these scales, so you must treat them with the utmost care. Are you not coming with us? As much as I would like to escape the form's watchful gaze, I've little choice but to stay behind. We've already on thin ice, and if I, in my capacity as an artificial representative, were found to be consorting with foreign powers, well, you can imagine how that would go. I'll also remain here and do my utmost to avoid ruffling any more feathers, as I await word from Master Montoya and our other allies. With luck, we'll soon have good news of our own to share. The tide is about to turn. I can feel it. To Miss Lamosa. There. Okay. The place is yet to freak out. Yeah, I don't care. Authorities for calling you away from Charlian at such short notice. On the contrary, we are honored and grateful and pleasantly surprised to be joined by such esteemed company. It was only right that this discussion be conducted in person. We are locked in war of attrition. Our forces struggle to contain the threat posed by the towers, and it is only a matter of time before we are overwhelmed. Victory will only be claimed through decisive action, and we have taken the initiative to set the wheels in motion. As returning to learn, we all are all in accord. But may I ask what your plan entails? It hinges entirely on the warding scales and our ability to utilize their potential to the fullest. During your time in Charlian, the allied nations have been engaged on separate fronts with no end in sight. To make matters worse, a surge in abductions of Cobalt, Sahagan, Ixal, and Ananta have given rise to an increased number of primals as well. But your triumph in Ratahan has given us cause to hope once more. The time has come to free ourselves of this menace, and it is you, the Scions of the Seventh Dawn, who have shown us the way. While the bulk of our forces will continue to hold the Tlofroy at bay, we will dispatch our finest to strike at the enemy's heart, Garlemald. These brave few will be the Ilzabar contingent. Do you think such progress has been made in so short a span? If objectives are twofold. The first is to provide aid to the people of Garlemald. As previously reported, countless Imperial soldiers and civilians have been tempered, robbed of their free will. They serve the Teperoy every whim without question. They too are victims. It is our duty to deliver them from their suffering, not for strategic or political gain, but perhaps it is the right thing, because it's the right thing to do. I do not ask that we set aside the decades of conflict and conquest, that we simply choose to forgive and forget. I ask only that in choosing to remember, we do not also forsake our compassion and morality, for without that, there can be no reconciliation, only death without end. On that, we can all agree. Our second objective is the Colossal Tower that Thancred and Orion J observed in the capital. Though its purpose remains unclear, there's reason to believe the smaller spires are merely a precursor of what's yet to come. Until the Tower of Zot was toppled, we failed to make any headway through the same. Though the same could be said of the Tlafroi, they certainly in no rush to press further into our lands. I'd wager the spire's primary purpose is to divide and keep us occupied while they work towards our annihilation. This would appear to be substantiated by Yashtola's analysis of the tower's influence on ether currents. Based on her observation inside the Tower of Zot, the spire siphoned ether from the land, consuming it to maintain their form. However, they drew forth far more than is required for this task alone. The excess of ether remains unaccounted for, but we can be sure it is not being harnessed for our benefit. It wouldn't surprise me in the least if it was being redirected to the larger spire in the capital. There's a logic in that, regardless, once we have uncovered the truth. We'll bring their schemes crashing down along with their infernal towers. That's all well and good, but what would you have us do? I assume it's more than handing over the scales and being on our way. We want you and your scales to join the Ilsburg contingent. Concerning an official request from both the Grand Company of Eorzea and the Eastern Alliance. Do you accept? What are you looking at Edgar for? Perhaps you should be the one to answer that. We shall call a vote! I'm gonna put it better myself. Yashola, Thancred, and J has already pledged their support and are on their way to meet the rest of the contingent. They were positive you would come to the same decision as they did. Luckily for all involved, their prediction was correct. Once you have delivered the warding scales to Alamigo, the contingent will embark on its journey to Ilsabard. Raban and Lord Emmerich are overseeing preparations, so I suggest you make yourselves known upon arrival. Pack warm clothing, furs, and the like. Without it, the cold will do you in before the Tlafroi so much as draw steel. As for us, we keep the enemy busy while you're gone. They're not the only ones who can create a diversion. Now go, safe in the knowledge Eorzea will be as you left it, or better upon your return. The other moon comes crashing down on it while we're gone. Back to the Alamigo quarters. The Wanderers return. You've been busy bringing down a tower and producing the keys to destroy the rest of them. You should be proud. Those warding scales of yours are what made this whole venture possible. Will you and Lord Emmerich be leading the contingent? Regrettably, no. Our role is to organize the various delegations into a cohesive unit. Once we have set you all off, it's back to our respective posts. I'll be right back. Oh, never mind. We are not neglecting our duties for too long, as our defensive efforts fall into disarray. And just before, between us, there are a fair amount of opposition to the formation of the Ilsbar contingent. The very suggestion that we send some of our finest troops behind enemies' lines to render aid to the Garleans has made me rather unpopular in certain quarters. Can't please them all. Sadly not, though I do my best. Truth be told, I'd much rather be at your side, charging into the fray. Alas, I've battles of my own to fight, where words may serve me better than any blade. I hate to say it, but Lord Emmerich's struggles mirror my own. For the time being, the best we can offer you is the peace of mind from knowing Eorzea is in safe hands. As you fight the good fight in Ilsbard, I and the other commanders will do what we can to convince the naysayers that our course is just. Thank you, both of you. We meet again! Word of your exploit quickly. From what I gather, the protective talismans you obtained lead to the formation of this extraordinary forces. My contribution on this occasion is but a minor one, that being the information I have shared with Maxima for the sake of the people of Garlemald. May the fates be on your side. So you're not coming with us? Strange, I thought you have a stake in this. Zalfroy had laid waste to my homeland and enslaved my people. But there, every mote of my being cries for vengeance. I cannot be the one to deliver it. My presence alone would place the entire mission in jeopardy. I stand accused of murdering Emperor Varus, plunging Garlemald into chaos. Were I to travel with the Ilsbar contingent, it would give my countrymen ample cause to question our motives. Conversely, those who believe me innocent may instead celebrate the return of a former legatus and attempt to raise me to a position of leadership, further destabilizing the region and complicating the contingent's mission. Whether I am branded a villain or hailed as a hero, I would only hinder your efforts. A fair point, but so long as you refrain from announcing your arrival to all and sundry, the average person should have no inkling as to your identity. Although your title and deeds are common knowledge, only a select few would recognize you on sight alone. Perhaps one day they will learn that the Warrior of Light is not a demon to be feared, but a man deserving of their trust. A Knight of Geist is rather unique circumstances. I insist instead will assume the role of your guide. Though I may have defected for political reasons, my love for Garlemald endures. I would stop at nothing to protect her and her people. Well said, might I ask you to escort her friends inside? You might even bump into an old acquaintance or two, and if I don't see you here you depart, may the Fury guide and protect you, all of you. Let's see what we get. Warmer clothes. Yep. There. Well, that'll be the end of this episode after Cabbage, and I'll see you all in the next.